support people who pay us at a higher priority than people who don't, but everybody gets support from the customer service organization. So that's probably a big part of where the 3,200 tickets a month is coming from for supporting our free users as well. So.
Can you repeat the question for the audience you asked?
Yes, yeah. So the question was, we have a free product and a paid product, so are we treating customers any differently, or do we have any mechanism to support them differently? And we have some internal priorities we set around whether they're free or paid that tells us which tickets to work first, but that's about the only difference we have between them today.
And feel free to ask questions.
I wanted to say that I lied. I don't know why I lied, and it was an accident, really. When I said we have 300 to 500 tickets, that was a week. So month, no. Week, yes. So do the math. We have between, I would say, I don't know, 18 and 30,000 tickets a month. I don't know why I said 500.
I feel less ashamed now.
Sorry.
Okay. Cool. Last question. So everyone knows that you guys get a ton of data from Zendesk every day, every moment. So what is it that you do with the data that you get? Can you talk a little bit about that and maybe how it's helped your organization? You guys have mentioned product decisions before and some other things, but yeah, just talk about what you do with the data.
So currently we use the nifty good data integration. We've built out a lot of reports based on just customer, drill down, everything about that customer, to weekly data, which is our stuff clearly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, how many sad pandas we converted into happy pandas again. We use the good data information for training for our own support staff. We use it for just general metrics, customer satisfaction details. When we want to see, how many tickets we get this month, what's going on with trending. We pay attention to a lot of trending data. We also visualize it out to our entire staff. So we have an internal app that shows this dashboard. So everyone in our support organization, everyone in sales, everyone in the upper management can see what's going on in support currently. We do use the data for business decisions. We are looking to add more data. We love data. So we're looking to be able to drill down into mix the data that we get from Zendesk and in Good Data and our own applications and our own environments and push that into Good Data or some other form. So we can mix our ticket data with our actual support data, our what's running, how many applications are we running, what customer is running what. We want to be able to look down and say, hey, customer A has filed this many tickets, makes or spends this much a month, has this much running, has had this much uptime. We want to be able to see everything from a complete customer down level, or just general. We want more data. We want a lot more data. The data we have now through Zendesk ticketing is great. There's a lot of stuff that we get, and a lot of that piece is very valuable to our support team and our support management. There's always more data you need outside of just tickets, but yeah, the good data is great for ticketing purposes. Business decisions, we use Net Promoter Score too, on top of just transactional, because the transactional is great in terms of our customers love us. When they don't, we know, and it's all very transactional. It's great to know, but business decisions are made on the bigger level. Feature requests push business decisions. Lily bug requests push business decisions, but I don't think our ticket data necessarily, in this sense, drives what happens with our product. It's the bigger thing. It's the Net Promoter Score. It's the feedback from the customers not only in the ticket, but in the feedback in the satisfaction. What's wrong with our stuff? You can't get that from day-to-day data unless you drill down really hard, which you can't get with the current thing, which is why we're trying to build up more data.
Cool. Yeah, so for us, we also use the Good Data integration. We actually turned it on fairly recently, and we use it to track some of the basic things. So the number of tickets per week or per month. We actually split those into feature requests and support tickets. Because feature requests really, we kind of treat separately. And we again, they all come through Zendesk, and we use those to actually drive business decisions on roadmap. So because PagerDuty, we're still in the early days with the product and it's evolving quickly, getting feedback from our customers, and by the way, our customers are pretty good at that. They're technical, they're IT ops, DevOps, developers, and when something's broken or something is missing, they're not shy about telling us. They might tell us too much, but it's a great problem to have. We definitely, one of the inputs to the roadmap is what are our customers wanting in terms of feature requests. And we also, as part of our product development process, we look at our feature requests and we select the customers to talk to when we're starting on a new feature. We talk to a bunch of customers to see, what are your requirements? Because a lot of, when you're just sending an email or you're just sending like something on text, it's a little bit harder to know exactly what they want or how they would like what their pain points are and what their needs are. So we actually use it to figure out which customers to talk to when developing new features for the product. So it's a big deal. The feature requests are a big input to that. Of course, there's other inputs as well, including kind of strategic direction and all of that. And then we also track the number of tickets per user, and that's, like I said, that's been going down over time for us. So it's really great. But our ticket volume isn't that big, so we're not at the level of engineering, not even close in terms of our metrics and data on tickets. Our support team, just to contrast, is 3 people. So it's not 16, it's not, how big is yours?
16.
Oh, there you go. It's 24, yeah. So we're still kind of, a little bit smaller than these guys. So we haven't had, it's something that evolves over time, and we haven't had to we haven't needed to go as deep as these guys have on the data. But we do track the basics, and it's actually really easy to do. We've even integrated the metrics of number of tickets right into our wiki, we use Confluence for that, and the graphs, the good data graphs are just there, which is kind of cool, actually. Yeah.
So about 3 months ago, we hired a business analyst to start really digging deep into our data and figure out where all these tickets are coming from and how we can get in front of them. So we've got a lot of brand new stuff coming out of this. And he's also a programmer, so he's doing a lot of this through the API, and finding a person who's a programmer and a business analyst all at the same time is really exciting. But we found him, and now he's working for us. So we're getting some really cool stuff out of it.
Is this Tony?
What's that?
Is this Tony?
No, it's Dylan.
Oh, okay.
Dylan. No, Tony's one of our support engineers.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are, again, I mentioned earlier that we are collecting information upon ticket creation about what type of issue the customer's having. We can pair that up with customer satisfaction data about those tickets to figure out, in areas where we're getting a lot of tickets and satisfaction is poor, we can go in and do a deep dive on those types of tickets to figure out, is it the way we're handling them as support agents? Is it a problem with the product itself that we can fix? Are there feature requests that we can pull out of it, that sort of thing? And we can start trying to target some of these areas to create more knowledge-based content, put in front of people. We use good data really heavily, and like you mentioned, we kind of started, we've always had it, but we started using it more heavily recently. We drive business decisions off of it. But a lot of it's really new, and so we're working to see where it takes us.
Any questions from the audience? Any more questions? More?
I think Alex had something to say.
I was just gonna say that we actually, within PagerDuty, we're actually really transparent about the problems with the product and the feature requests. So we send an email out every week, just summarizing the top feature requests that we get from customers, and we also send one saying the top reasons why accounts cancel. Actually, it's lucky that not too many accounts cancel every week. It's a handful, so we just send them all, not the top reasons, but all the reasons why accounts cancel. All of our tooling is actually available, so our product guys and our engineers can log into it and just see for themselves. We also put a lot of that information on the wiki as well.
A lot of what you spoke of is like preventing a ticket from being created and stuff like that. Do you see yourself using the data to streamline the process of a support person. You spoke about gamification of the forums. Is there any sort of gamification of tickets or anything like that?
So the question was more around proactive support via the API. Is that a good summarization? Okay.
I think I know how to answer when you asked. I'm not sure if I know how to answer when you asked.
Oh, whatever.
I just yes to Mark.
Hey, don't listen.
Yeah.
So as far as gamification around actual tickets, it seems like it seemed when we first did it, we were like, it seems kind of counterintuitive. You know, we want to reward people with badges for things we want them to do. Do we want them to buy a lot of tickets? Not really, right? So there is gamification around tickets because they're going to do it anyway. So we give, you know, I think our first one is attendee. It's a little picture of a ticket. It's cute. And the next one is like season ticket holder. I think they're in between. I don't know. So you get badges for filing tickets because you should, but then you get bigger, better ones for self-help and things around that. So we do gamify around that. It really is, you file a ticket, like if you're a new customer, you file a ticket, you get a badge.
But even from the other side, like the
employees?
Yeah, the employees.
So we're working on that. They still get the same badges as our customers. So when they proactively file a ticket, they get a badge, right? We're working on some that are more specific to our support staff in general. There'll be, you know, we're working on putting out a leaderboard internally and externally.
Right.
We're going to put out, with the gamification, we're going to put out a biggest contributor type thing, or most recently, read articles. Stuff like this is more trending, so it's more real time as a customer's in there. But we do want to make it more fun for our staff. But the gamification was really to build community around the forums and the documentation that we put in there. So we focus primarily on customers. We will bring it back in, but because our employees are so driven by the pandas and by just never wanting their hearts broken by a sad one, that it's not, we don't have to drive our employees to get badges necessarily. They drive themselves away from the sad pandas. So it's
customer satisfaction is enough.
Yeah, there's gamification in that get a happy panda.
Yeah.
So there's gamification in that sense, but not in the internal sense yet. We're working on it, but not entirely yet.
We don't have any gamification built in, but we did recently completely restructure the way that we work our tickets to kind of help with some of those areas where that might come in handy later. We had generalists before, just everybody's a generalist, and you might have depth in a particular area, and if 3 people look at a ticket and they can't figure it out, they might hand it over to the person with more depth in that area. But it was a really slow way to work through tickets. So very recently we switched the team up so that now that we have data coming in about what type of issue the ticket is about before we've even had anybody touch it or triage it, we can immediately put it in front of an expert in that area so that we can work through those tickets much more quickly. It also is changing the relationship so that you have less people cycling through a ticket. You know, you might file a ticket, I look at it, you provide a response, now you're looking at it the next time. And instead, I just get to keep looking at the ticket over and over again, so I don't have to try and decode what you were trying to get out of the customer, what you were trying to get out of the customer. And it's starting to give us some realistic metrics about who's really efficient at working through tickets and who isn't, where we had like very low visibility into that before. Who gets really high customer satisfaction ratings, who works through tickets really efficiently, because everybody was touching every ticket.
Thank you. And I was just going to add that if you do incentives or gamification internally for the employees, you have to be careful about it. Because if you set the wrong incentives, you get the wrong behavior, right? Like if all you say is a leaderboard on the number of tickets solved, well, that gives people an incentive to solve tickets faster, maybe not put as much care into them, and just crank through as quickly as possible to get number 1 on that, and just pick the easy ones. Never do the hard ones, because those take longer.
Gaming the system.
Exactly. So I mean, our support team is pretty small. Like I said, just 3. So we don't we don't have this this problem, but we do have some specialization. So we have a support person who's fairly non-technical and one that is fairly technical, like 2 that are fairly technical, and we're gonna have to kind of keep that balanced as we go forward, because some of the problems that come in are around APIs and plugging in a specific monitoring tool into PagerDuty. So you need to kind of have some technical ability to kind of install the monitoring tool and try it out and see what the problems are. And we kind of try to go to that extra step of, you know, replicating the customer's problem and digging really deep to kind of help them fix it. So we're going to try to have a blend of technical and non-technical people to kind of help with the less technical kind of issues like I couldn't figure out how to do this or just a feature request.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Let's give a round of applause to our panel. Next up, we have